Hello, everybody. Things are looking up, just to say to you. I was in Berlin, uh, and I was in a few places over the last few days, and just gave me wings, really, in my mind for possibilities. A couple of my friends up there starting a band. They don't even need a band. The two of them are brilliant, singer and guitar. But so yeah, thinking of maybe joining them for that project, because just it's excellent singing. Okay. I'm extremely tired. Um, yawning and whatever, but at the same time I'm getting up at 11 o'clock in the morning normally these days, which is great. I like getting up at 11 o'clock in the morning. Next thought in my head is, certain people that have been contacting me, private message, and I want to say to those people, like that, well, it's difficult what to say to you, but I'd just like to say, I'm glad that you're still around, even though the realities are a couple of private messages I've got. I've been full of stuff that I just thought, I'm not interested in lowering my standards, or whatever, changing my standards, just to suit somebody who's personally disappointed in me. Because when I first started YouTube, I wasn't doing this for anybody else. Okay, obviously, ultimately, for any species like myself, XXY, that was going similarly through what I went through and what I am going through. Two separate things, by the way. I didn't. One of my videos I said at the very start was, I'm not here for your entertainment. But the reality is that I am here for everybody's entertainment. For you, not for me, but for you guys. And few times in the 2.5 years on YouTube, I've actually been like, will I put my videos to private, and keep up the important ones, the ones that don't give off a ramble of my mind, and show all the weirdos out there who I am. But at the end of the day, I show all the weirdos, and I show all the nice people, and I show everybody in the world who I am anyway, regardless if I'm on the internet or not. And this is the thing about the internet. I mean, you think you're just putting stuff into a space that nobody really knows, but actually the world is so small we don't even realize it. That the internet is a very powerful tool, and it can make a huge impact. The smallest little video that you do can make a huge impact. In fact, the smaller the better in this world with humans with lack of concentration. So actually, technically, if you want to get technical, I would call nearly every human being in the world somebody who suffers from ADHD, which actually is a bullshit label invented by the medical community just so they can invent drugs to condition you into being very similar to the stereotypical perfect human being. Because this world, this system of our perfect, or trying to perfect it world, is always coming up with labels that are not very positive minded. Like people who have attention problems or attention issues don't necessarily need to be labelled as having a disorder. It's not a disorder. That's a horrible word, disorder. No. So, this world is trying to label people so that they can condition everybody into basically being the same, so then we don't technically have any problems, because everybody thinks the same and does the same thing. Does that sound anything at all kind of like socialism, communism, that sort of idea? That stuff that most Americans are against, even though they don't even know really what the hell happened in countries where there was communism, socialism, or whatever. I know that I'm dealing with I'm again, it's. I wish I was talking to more Europeans. I really just and even Asians. I think the more technically east you go, the more wise people are. Because they've held together the good traditions from the past, and also their medical system and community in the East in general. And it's very generalized, because the East, what's the East? Half the rest of the world is the East. But these people, in general, have excellent forms of natural remedies, which basically you can call natural medicine. But of course the medical community won't accept it being medicine. They call it voodoo or witchcraft or whatever they want to call it. And that is the problem with the medical community, the Western medical community system. They are a bunch of presumers. They really think that they're absolutely right. I think it's not okay for doctors to prescribe drugs to just for anybody, just for for everything. I mean, most people go to a doctor and they don't come out without a prescription for something. It's very rare that you go to a doctor and you leave the doctor's place with nothing in your hands, to go and get, to take. Rarely does a doctor say, yeah, just go home and sleep on it. And I think it's out of control, personally. The medical thing. I mean, most people in the world are taking drugs for something, yet there seems to be this war on drugs effort for illegal drugs. Yeah. But they don't care about people taking testosterone, for instance, when they shouldn't be taking it, or at least when they haven't been prescribed it. Me on testosterone, let's just talk about that quickly, clear up a few things for the people who don't get me right. I don't refuse medical care, okay? I just simply have decided to not take testosterone for the last 2.5 years nearly. Didn't expect to go so long without the testosterone, but it's ended up being that way. And it's been very difficult, but it was and still is an example, a case study, even though it's not being, there's only one negative person is actually studying me, but still, at least it's good that he is actually, because taking out the bad points of me at the moment, but then at some point when he runs out of bad points to make an example out of, he'll go on to the positive. And there's plenty more positive than negative, really, actually, in my videos. But there is a lot of negativity too, yeah. Because I use YouTube as my dumping grounds for emotional crap. And also for my ideas. And also to throw all my thoughts. Yeah, so that's it. I'm very happy with the progress I've made. I, just going back into the earlier video, part of the video, talking about making my videos private. I mean, that's really on the I'm really close to doing that, making them all private. Not necessarily because I don't want people to take those videos and use them on their own channels because it's my material, but also just to make Peace and Party's channel a bit more clear, so that I can hit a wider audience, so that there isn't, people don't get lost. They're getting lost in 1,000 videos. But yeah, I look forward to editing some of my videos in the future too. But another point in the last 10 seconds is that some people, I really do appreciate them, and they know who they are. Should do anyway. Ciao.